Hi there, Vivek, and welcome to your first essay correction. My name's Andrew. We've probably spoken already in email. I'll be reading through your essays sentence by sentence to give you some advice, some guidance, and some support in order to get you up to a point where you are producing academic writing and hopefully over a level 7. Now, I can already see that you have structured your essay nicely, it's presented well, it looks balanced. First impressions are always good, and a balanced essay that looks about the right length is always a good start. So I can tell that you've paid attention to the course. Well done for that one. Thank you very much for getting this far. Let's begin by reading through your intro and seeing if there are any improvements to be made. So one of the things that's important for accuracy in this exam is using as few words as possible to say the same thing. So there may be some instances where I remove words from your sentences. So here, I would just say, it has become evident that. If we're saying it has become, then we are commenting on, I would assume, lately. Especially if we're writing an academic essay, these sorts of things tend to focus on the most present thought. The most current thinking on a subject will be addressed. It's the same in law. The most recent cases are the most relevant. So if it has become evident that interaction between family members has reduced significantly. Cool. That is exactly what's covered by the question. That communication has reduced. Excellent. In my opinion, increased competition, so you've got one too many T's here. This T here needs to go away. Increased competition in the workplace. And I would say an interest in cultivating an online personality being given preference over communicating with family members are two main reasons for this change in society. So for instead of, and remove this the. We don't need that definite article for this because it's society. We're referring to the whole, not any particular society. But let's check on your first body paragraph. First comment, I can see that you have structured it well and that actually you understand how to progress your ideas. You have no problem with the concept of logical progression. That's really good because that's actually one of the hardest things to train in. But you understand that you need to lay your ideas out a step at a time, prove them correct, and then explain them fully at the end. And that's really nice to see. What we need to work on with you is spelling and word formation first. Because once again we have an extra T here, and this should be has increased with a D on the end. Past perfect has increased. Tremendously doesn't have this A here. This is technically correct, but I would always say over the last few decades. We want to give the impression that the thing is happening over time. If we say it has increased tremendously in the last few decades, we mean that there is a specific point in time somewhere where the competition did increase. But that's not the case. It happened slowly over time. So over the last few decades. I would say the need to continuously improve one's skill set in order to succeed is pushing people to work day and night around the world. And then you've got only one sentence there. The need to continuously improve one's skill set in order to succeed is pushing people to work day and night around the world. But then I would also change day and night to something more academic, like additional hours, or is pushing people to dedicate additional time to work, or is demanding more time from people. Just because working day and night, although it gives the correct idea, it's not literally true, is it? Not everybody chooses to work day and night as a result of competition. So this is an overstatement. So let's say it pushes many people to take on additional hours at work or to take on an additional workload. And then we can say, in India, a recent study by the Indian Institute of Technology. We could remove this then, because where it's from is contained here. A recent study by the Indian Institute of Technology has shown that a software engineer has to spend at least 2 separate words, 50 hours per week. So I would change this here to that a software engineer has to dedicate a minimum of 50 hours each week simply to remain in his role. So there's just an overall suggestion for that sentence. Therefore, working in such competitive environments, this should be a plural. Or we could have competitive high-pressure environments. High pressure being a collocation with a hyphen in the middle. Competitive high-pressure environments. Working in such competitive high-pressure environments severely or significantly affects the amount of time a person may spend with their family, or with their children, or with their spouse, whichever you prefer. Secondly, due to technological advancements, we don't need this plural here, so due to technological advancements that offer opportunities, this would be more than one opportunity, so that offer opportunities to connect online with family and friends, comma, the physical communication has suffered badly. We don't need this either. And I would also maybe change this to face-to-face communication, one-on-one communication, anything that talks about the people being in front of each other. This almost does it, but there are better phrases for it. So face-to-face communication, one-on-one communication has suffered badly. This is due to the fact that I would say online environments facilitate virtual social worlds or virtual social lives. Yes. Online environments facilitate the adoption of a virtual social life. Try not to add too much opinion, so just give the example rather than telling us what kind of example it is. So an example of this is Facebook and Twitter. I would say the popular social networking platforms, Facebook and Twitter, allow people to interact with many people simultaneously and instantaneously. Simultaneously, all at the same time, instantaneously, with zero delay, now, immediately. So that would do the job there, because we're talking about how essentially communication, the efficiency of communication has been massively improved by these things, which would be a decent reason for people to maintain an online persona in a virtual environment, etc., etc. And as well, this is a bit of an overstatement. Most people become addicted is not true. I would say that some develop a dependency on these technologies, and as a result, quality time with other people or meaningful interaction with others is considerably reduced. In conclusion, increased competition and the prevalence of social media are reducing contact between family members. So, again, try not to put too much judgment in there. What path society is on is up to no individual, so it would be wrong to comment on how society should be in an academic essay. Society is as it is, and we all get along with it as best we can. I believe this trend will prevail in the foreseeable future. Over what? To prevail means to emerge victorious, to win. So what is it winning against? I think you mean maybe that this trend will only worsen in the future if we're talking about the deterioration of communication between family members. So like I said, your flow of ideas is great, but your flow of your sentences needs a bit of work. Use the suggestions that I've made to look at more natural sounding and formal expressions. Now, unfortunately, Google Docs has split this one in two, so we're going to have to do it in 2 bits. So with this one, we want to focus on the fact that cognitive skills can be developed by video games, that hand-eye coordination improves by playing video games. There are many things many positives that video games have, but we must not also forget why reading is fundamental. Reading is the source of most people's imagination. The ability to imagine the world from the perspective of another person is an absolutely imperative portion of imagination. So realizing which sides of the argument each idea falls on is very important in this essay, because a lot of students confuse them and talk about how video games develop active skills, which is not quite right, is it? Because that's active skills is skills whereby we are up and about. So here, I would say rather than state your opinion straight away, we could say it is increasingly thought that enjoyable activities or engaging activities, let's say it is increasingly thought that enjoyable activities can be a better way to engage children with education. I personally believe that playing games and sports with children is far more beneficial for developing skills and imagination than other methods like reading alone. We just need to be a bit more specific than just saying improve ourselves. What skills are we talking about? So we can just generally say skills and imagination. Developing skills and imagination is fine. Firstly, engaging with children in games on their consoles, let's not give brand names, is an enjoyable task with numerous positives or numerous benefits. Upsides is a little bit informal for an essay. This is because, we don't need this. We can just say, by doing this, one develops active skills. But I would not suggest that's true. I would write cognitive skills. Because if you're playing on a PlayStation, you are sitting still and not active. You are inactive, physically inactive, but you are cognitively active. Your brain is working away. So I would say that this helps to develop cognitive skills such as hand-eye coordination and maybe spatial awareness, although I would even argue that spatial awareness is developed by sports and physical activities. I would say in a recent study by Harvard University showed that children who participate in enjoyable activities such as video games respond 20% better in... So here, when you give an example, you have to tell us what the children were doing, what the result was, because the whole point of giving the example is to demonstrate a real-world event that supports what you are saying. So you can say then, it's essentially saying, what I'm saying is true, look at this, it happened here, it was seen. But in order for that to have credibility, in order to get that across, you have to say exactly what happened, how was it measured, what were the results. So if you're going to refer to a study, you must do so in an academic manner. Therefore, involving children, I would say, therefore, playing games with children is far more rewarding than reading alone. Secondly, participation in sporting activities with children helps to improve one's different abilities. What are these? Well, different abilities and other activities. These are far too ambiguous. The use of these means that this sentence actually doesn't really say anything. So you've got this progression of ideas is definitely there. What we need to make sure is that your language precisely expresses each idea in the sentence. It's about clarity in sentences for you. One important thing is physical and cognitive abilities that build up by participating in different sports with children. But once again, what physical and cognitive abilities? What are we talking about here? What is improving, and what is improving it? For instance, a survey conducted by the Sports Academy of London reveals that 1 hour of participation in sports with children is equivalent to 90 minutes of continuous aerobic, no plural, exercise in the gym. That is a great sentence. It has good academic language, like equivalent. It has a number of minutes. It has a precise expression of what we're measuring it against, and a location. It has loads of information that allows me to see that this example is worthy. In addition to this, the cognitive abilities of people improve when they are actively involved in children's sports. So again, which sport, which activities, why? We must expand our ideas. You must explain things to people fully with everything you say. So when a paragraph has a good progression, when you introduce the idea, expand into it with your own thoughts, justify justify your thoughts with an example, and then explain it all at the end. That's a nice progression, and you have got it. But what we really need to do is bring some precision into your sentences. Precision. In conclusion, to grow better physical abilities and cognitive abilities, people need an active mind, which can be trained both by engaging activities and video games. So engaging activities and reading. But it's not about getting involved with children's games, like I said. It's about the difference between interactive media, such as video games, and reading, and which one develops skills better. So let's in future make sure we answer the question fully, that we try to express our ideas a bit more precisely, but very, very well done for sticking to the structure, for producing a balanced essay with a good progression. It really is quite an achievement. Thanks for getting these into us. What we need you to do now is correct your own work using these suggestions. Send us in a single email your corrected essays, your error list, and your new tasks, and we'll have them back to you within 24 hours of receipt. Thanks very, very much, and have a wonderful evening. I'll speak to you soon.